I am very happy to testify before any congressional oversight committee. I have nothing to hide. I can explain and validate everything that I've done. I'm going to do what I need to do, and that is cooperate fully, because we have nothing to hide at all.
Admit it was a mistake to fund dangerous research in China. Admit that the risk of this dangerous research exceeded any possible benefits. Ask forgiveness and pledge to help our government devise safeguards so a man-made epidemic never happens again.
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions. I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution. Decline to answer, decline to answer, decline to answer.
Okay, that was Dr. Fauci, firstly in 2022, saying he'd be happy to testify to Congress. There's nothing to hide. Validate everything he was doing. Then he pleaded the fifth more than 9 times in that Senate hearing yesterday on multiple things, on getting the U.S. to fund dangerous research worldwide that U.S. taxpayers pay for, also in China, creating man-made superviruses for drugs with little to no oversight. He said the benefits of that, developing Frankenstein superviruses, can outweigh the risks of triggering deadly pandemics. In his diaries, he knew early on scientists were telling him COVID leaked from the Wuhan lab, as he focused also on getting federal workers to submit him for personal cash prizes of about $1 million. Right when lockdowns he was pushing them, he was triggering basically $2 trillion in lost economic output. 22 million were thrown out of work. 55 million school children kept home. In his diaries at that time, he was saying he's a rock star. He's applying for cash prizes. Let's bring in Congresswoman Cammack from the House Law Enforcement Caucus. Congresswoman, it's great to see you again. What's your reaction to all this? Because your home state of Florida is now investigating. Dr. Fauci faces civil liability suits from possibly more states, plus probes and a contempt of Congress vote next week.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Liz. And we're pretty lucky to have an AG here in the state of Florida that is a bulldog, and he will absolutely get to the bottom of this, because it seems where the federal government fails, Florida leads. And so it's always good to see my fellow Floridians stepping up and looking for answers. At the end of the day, we were told at the height of the pandemic by that man, Dr. Fauci, that we needed to trust the science and we needed to stop questioning the science because he was in fact science. So you couldn't question him. Well, candidly, you don't invoke trust by refusing to answer questions. And Americans, they deserve the truth. They deserve answers. And in that ordeal that we saw the other day, 111 times invoking the fifth, it was more like a Chappelle skit than it was an actual Senate hearing. The difference is that Chappelle is actually funny, and there was nothing funny about Dr. Fauci and his lies and the millions of people that lost their lives because of his failures. So I think the American people are right to demand answers. We need to get to the bottom of it. And candidly, he should not be absolved of accountability just because he pleads the fifth.
So, you know, the millions of people losing their lives, that is what's being determined, right? He's accused of blocking and stonewalling. In other words, the millions losing their lives directly because of what he did. That's what the push is on about now. So he stonewalled about creating superviruses. Congresswoman, there are 16 documented cases worldwide where viruses escaped from laboratories. More than 300 lab workers got infected between 2000 and 2021. And that he indicated in his diary, Congresswoman, the CIA gave him signals intelligence that there are dangers about China's Wuhan lab working on superviruses that U.S. taxpayers, he got them to pay for in the millions of dollars. Scientists believe COVID leaked from that lab.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the role of Congress right now, and why the Article 1 authority that we have in our constitutional role of oversight is so important. It's not just that we stroke the checks, it's that we have to make sure that it's actually being done in a way that benefits the American people, not to put them on the receiving end of dangerous viruses. It's clear that Dr. Fauci had his own agenda in mind rather than the best intentions for the American people. So more to come on this for sure.
Congresswoman Cammack, thank you so much. Now to this news coming out of Iran.